Let's get into what I call the golden circle. This is the golden circle. Now, this was started by a gentleman down in the States by the name of Simon Sinek. And it's a really cool graphic. And it's a really important graphic. So how many of you know what you do in your business? How many of you know what you do? I should hope so. Okay. How many of you know how you do it? Okay, cool. Here's the key question. How many of you know why you do it if you take dollars out of the equation? I'm sure you do now. Okay, good. Those who've been to mastery should absolutely know. But most people say, I know why I'm doing it. So let me ask a question. How many of you are doing it to help others? Great. So how many of you are on this planet to help other people? That's what your plan is. Great. That's a very superficial why. It's like right on the surface. It's like an iceberg. There's a lot more to understanding your why and why you do things. So they took two companies and they decided to go through two companies. Both these companies, amazing companies. One goes from the outside in, the other one goes from the inside out. And this actually happens to be the why is in the core of the circle, which is in the core of the human being, which is pretty cool. These two companies, both computer companies. And this all comes from Simon Sinek's work. And Dell goes from the inside out. Dell doesn't know really why they do what they do. They know what they do, they know how to do it, and they just do it. Because what happens is, as you go towards the center of the circle, this becomes more and more fuzzy. Because people think they know why they do what they do. When you truly know why you do what you do, it'll take you from here to here. Absolutely mean that. So I watch people, look at these two companies. Apple is an inspired company. Do people line up to buy Apple products? Do people line up to buy Dell products? No. Like people, when did the last Dell Inspiron computer come out? No one knows. But they still sell billions of dollars of computers because they're great computers. Still sell billions of dollars of computers. Apple, though, is an inspired organization. People line up to work for them. What's Apple's why? It used to be Steve Jobs' personal why, then it got into a corporate why. Because you deserve it. What do you think it is? I'll give it to you. To challenge the status quo. That's Apple's why. To challenge the status quo. Which really means when they come out with a product, I call Apple products ego products. People cannot wait to get one and be the first one to sit at the restaurant table or at home or something like that and go, oh, you got one. I lined up for 4 days, slept in a tent, it was pouring rain, but I got it. It stuns me. That people would do that to themselves. You know, just so they can have the first one of the Apple latest version. Now, of course, Apple thrives on it. They only just launched the iPad 2, now they're coming out with the iPad 3. People don't even, they stop buying Apple products. Apple says, we're coming out with iPad 3, the iPad 2 sales will just go like this now. They'll go through the floor, and then the iPad 3 will come out, and they'll skyrocket for 6 months, and then they'll launch iPad 4. They are masters at it. Apple is a marketing machine, but they're an inspired company. People line up to work for them. People want to work for them. Dell launched an MP3 player. What was it called? Most people don't even know. Okay, don't worry about it. Apple launched an MP3 player. What was it called? iPod. And the rest is history. And the rest is history because that's how people become inspired. They can launch a product, and because Apple's why is so powerful, people will line up to buy their products. Because their why is to challenge the status quo, people will be there waiting to buy their next product. How many of you want to run inspired businesses? How many of you would love to have business people follow you and want to work for you? That's what happens when you know your why inside out. When you know why you do what you do and you share it with people, In fact, in our business, you can come up and read this afterwards, is my why is on the back of every binder we hand out. That's how much I believe in it, because I want people to know why I do what I do. It's detailed, it's very personal, but it makes me who I am, and really makes people look at you very differently. Because when people know who you are, they know you're real. And when people look at you differently, you're not just someone selling them something, you're someone that's on a mission that they want to be part of. And that's why Apple's so great. I want to be an inspired organization as well, and that's why that's such an important part to every single one of our binders that we have. Really, really important. So, understanding your why is one of the most important things, because this comes into your understanding your why. Your why is very detailed. Your why is a process to get to understand your why in every aspect. Going through your why is probably the most important thing you can do, not just for your business, but for your relationships. I've watched marriages change when people know what their why is. I've watched relationships with children change when people know what their why is. Because it makes you know why you even tick and what makes your engine run inside of you. How many of you would like to know that? Would like to learn that about yourselves? Pretty critical, okay? Because once you know that, what do? You share it with your staff, who then buy into what you do or they don't. I teach this at, when I was teaching this for Sun Life, I never forget sitting down in one person's office and a lady walked in to be interviewed for a position as an advisor with Sun Life. She walked in to be interviewed. The person came out, who's the sales manager, and said, "You know what, I'm just going to get a coffee. Just sit down in my office at the table. I'll come back in a few minutes. I just want to grab myself a coffee." The person sat down. On her desk next to the wall, on the wall next to her desk, was her why for the sales manager. She came back into the room 2 minutes later. The person sitting at the desk said, "I want to work for you because I buy into what you do and who you are." Isn't that cool? How many of you would like that in your life and your business? Critical. Okay, so let me tell you, because here's the key thing. As we go through we're just about to end for this evening, is understanding why you do what you do. I cannot tell you how important it is for your business. I've seen what it's done for my own business, how it's got me to where I want to be in my own business, and how real it makes you as a human being. I know business in North America is changing, and I'm very proud to be part of it as it changes. How many realize we're going back to a heart-based relationship in North America? Yeah. It's changing quickly. It's changing quickly. Hallelujah. And, it's really cool to watch this change, to watch people shift. Some people who don't want to shift will be left behind. Gone are those days. I've been in boardrooms with Bank of Montreal and watched people in tears as executives of major corporations, in tears with each other, people going, "You're not meant to do that in corporate America, corporate Canada." I go, "Welcome to my world." And by the time I leave, I have some of the strongest relationships, and I watched a team do something I've never seen a team do before. When I started working with this one group, in June of 2010, I can only give you round figures, they were doing around $30 million a year in sales. In September of last year, August 1st, they did $32 million in the month of August in 2011. $33 million in the month of September, a year later. They will take their sales a factor of 10 by the time they finished 18 months to 24 months later. That's phenomenal. Why? Because they know each other's whys. People go, "Wow, is it that powerful?" It makes you freaking human. Because when we go out to places, what do? We sweep it under the table. If they know that about me, they will think I'm different. Here's the thing. We all think we're different. When people know stuff about you, that's how they attach to you. People connect. There's a great marketer out there that wrote a book, "All Marketers Are Liars." And he crossed out the word liars and said, "Great storytellers." Because when you can tell a great story, people can see themselves in that story. That's how we connect together as human beings, when we can see ourselves in certain stories. How many of you agree on that? We actually connect when we actually see ourselves in the same story.